Hi everyone, I'm Kate Kennedy and I'm here with day 60 of 100 Days of Kane, PA. And today we talk with Marilyn Blackmore about her memories and stories of summer playground. So I'm going to go ahead and flip you around and we're going to walk over here. Hello, Mrs. Blackmore.
Hi, Kate.
How are you today?
I'm great, thanks. And how are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having us here today.
Oh, I love it.
So let's go ahead and start with where were you born?
I was actually born in Erie, Pennsylvania. My father was in the military, and he was at a camp there that had housing for families. So I was born at the Hammett Hospital in Erie.
And so your family was originally from Kane, and then they moved to Erie for the military when your dad was serving, and then moved back home.
Right.
How old were you?
I was probably a year and a half or two when we came back to Kane. My grandfather owned a few homes in Kane and on the west side, so he provided a cute little house for us to live in to start out with.
That's so nice. And so then you essentially were raised here. This is your home.
Yes.
And what school did you go to then?
I went to West Side School because in the early 50s we had neighborhood schools. So there was West Side, there was Central, Clay Street, and then around the surrounding area we had Ludlow, James City, East Kane, and Erickson schools. So we all were pretty much able to walk to our schools each day.
What was a typical day like for you at the West Side School?
Well, we would arrive at school about 8 o'clock. Patrols would help us cross the streets, and we would have our morning classes. I remember spending a lot of time in reading, Dick, Jane, Sally, in our reading groups, which were redbirds, yellowbirds, and bluebirds. And then we would go home for lunch and then come back for the afternoon session.
And so we were talking earlier about your lunch, and there's something that you shared with me that I think is really special.
Well, my grandfather also had started an appliance store uptown in Kane. So he and his 3 sons ran the store. My father happened to be in charge of the appliances and repairing and delivering. And so, but he was always able to come home for lunch. And my mother was a stay-at-home mom, just like all of the kids had stay-at-home moms. And so we all had lunch together every day and would go back to school. And
I think that's so neat that all of you got to have lunch together. Your mom made lunch at home, your dad came home, you came home, and you got to eat together.
yes.
What special memories. So in the West Side School at that time, what grades were there?
Well, it was before kindergarten started, so we started in first grade, and it was before middle schools were starting, so we also went through 7th grade there.
1st through 7th grade.
Yes.
So that's quite a range of ages.
Right, yes it is.
And then that's how you spent your school year. But what did you do over the summer?
Well, summer was a little bit like the school year because we would go to summer playground. And that meant that we would get up in the morning, throw on a pair of shorts and a shirt and a pair of sneakers. And I only had to walk a block to get to summer playground. And I think that might have started like at 9 o'clock in the morning and gone to noon. And then we'd walk home again and have lunch and come back for the afternoon, which was probably 1 to 3 or 4 o'clock. And that's what we would do all summer, is go every day to summer playground.
So how was it different from school? What did you do during summer playground?
Oh my goodness. It was mostly outdoors. Anytime we could be outdoors, we had a lovely playground that had swings and slides and a merry-go-round and a big sandbox and a little baseball field, so we could play ball. We played volleyball and badminton. We played lots of group activity things. We played dodgeball in the basement of the school, which was the old gym, and we didn't seem very nice at the time, but when you play dodgeball, what you do is try to hit people really hard with a ball. And if you got hit, you were out. So
Good old-fashioned fun.
That was the game. So we also had crafts. And I think in the afternoon we would do our crafts. And that was always fun because we made a lot of baskets out of popsicle sticks. We did a lot of plaster casts, and we would take them home and have them all ready and give them to our moms, and they would ooh and ah over each one and wonder what the heck they were going to do with this one now. But I remember that there was a basket of flowers. We had a profile of an Indian, and we did handprints, and so we just kind of would. We only had so many molds, so we did the same ones over and over. Maybe painted them different colors. But we also had lanyards, and the lanyards were 2 pieces of this plastic sort of string that you would fold over, put a little clip on the end, and braid. And we'd do 2 under and 1 over, and 2 under and 1 over. So that would take a couple days to make a lanyard, but we would make lots of different lanyards.
What did you put on your lanyards?
Well, I think they were for a key, which was sort of useless to us because we, first of all, our moms were home all the time, so we didn't need a key, and besides, we never locked the doors. So I can't remember what we put on our lanyards, but we really had a lot of fun making them. I think that was most of our crafts. They didn't cost a lot of money, and when I think back about it, I wish they still did that today because it gave kids a place to be, in a safe place. We had one of the teachers, ours was Mr. Crowley, who was always there at the playground. They hired him to work that, and we had a lot of fun, and we learned a lot of things together. So
Yeah, well, what are some of the things that you learned during summer playground?
oh, we learned how to get along. We learned how to play games. We learned how to win and to lose semi-gracefully. But sort of was like the bigger kids took care of the littler kids as time would go on, and you would get a little older, you would be taking care of the little kids some more. We learned how to have team spirit. I remember we would have a Halloween parade each year, and so each school would have its own flag and its own little chant, and we would walk up down through Main Street yelling, "West Side, the best side, West Side, the best side." So I guess there was team spirit in that. And we were out all day. We got a lot of exercise, and we learned how to be outside and how to get along with other people. So it was just a lot of fun.
And was summer playground available for all students?
Oh, yes. Yeah, everybody was free to come. Some kids came every day, and some kids came once a week, or when somebody, sometimes it wasn't, the kids had little jobs or things that they couldn't be there for, but there were a lot of kids there.
And when you were playing for summer playground, were you separated by grades, or was it something that 1st through 7th graders all played together?
I think we didn't start till maybe 2nd or 3rd grade with it, so we didn't have real little kids. And I think probably by the time kids got in 7th grade, they were done with that.
Yeah.
So that all of the grades that were there except the earliest ones.
So you got to know kids outside of your own grade too.
Yes.
And they were all neighborhood kids. Who were some of the kids in your neighborhood growing up?
Well, actually, Roy Brinkley and his stepbrother Bobby Wells and Ron Haight Mary Ann Petruni. Some of these people are still around, and some are not. And Linda Wiley. So I really enjoyed the boys. I think I loved playing their games and trying to do all the things they could do.
Trying to keep up with them or set the pace for the boys, huh?
Yeah, well, not set the pace. And the only thing I remember not being able to do was pole vault.
Oh.
I could not for the life of me pole vault, and that was Ron Haight's biggest sport.
Well, that's so neat. What wonderful memories and what wonderful friendships you formed as a kid by going to this neighborhood school and then spending your summers together there too.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you wanted to share or you'd like to talk about?
No, I think that's about it.
Okay, well, great. This was really interesting. So thank you so much for taking the time to share with us today.
Thank you, Kate, for inviting me.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's so interesting to hear about the neighborhood schools. I love it. And to get an in-depth look into the West Side School and specifically Summer Playground, which I never knew about, was so interesting. I hope you found it interesting too. So I'd love to hear from you. How do you spend your summers? Go ahead and comment below and we can hear how you spent your summers growing up here in Kane. Thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow for day 61.